Hey everyone, this is Philipp, and this is the best of the week for the Everyday Fighter podcast.
I think it's more like that I want the naysayers to be quiet. Like, you can't do this. Yeah, I can. It's just, I think it's also proving people wrong. You're a girl. Look at the size of you. You can't beat up a grown man. The hell I can't. Like, it's more proving people wrong also.
Now, is that stuff that is in the past? Like, like kind of voices from your experiences in the past, or is that something that's even like in the present?
It's definitely past and present. I think when you tell people what you're doing, or you have to explain why you're injured, and they're like, oh wow, are you gonna beat me up? And I'm like, no, actually I'm here to protect you. Like, I'm a bodyguard, I'm not the assailant. Like, I feel the need to like explain and defend myself constantly when somebody finds out what you do. Like, oh, okay, how about good job, or not so much of an adversarial, like, you're gonna hit me, you're gonna beat me up.
Like a mocking way, kind of.
Very mocking.
Because they don't have that belief that you're doing something that even they themselves would not consider for themselves.
Correct. And I also think it's comical to a lot of people that, you're just a girl. You're 5'2" and change. How could you possibly protect yourself? Like, you need a man to do it for you. Like, it's very mocking.
It's really interesting. How about you, Briana? Like, when you you're into this, you're training here as well. But like, did you have this in mind when you got your membership forced upon you by your husband?
Not. I honestly, I was like, I'm probably just gonna do the 6 weeks, and then I'm gonna feel guilty, and then I'm gonna stop. And then I talked to my husband after the 6 weeks were up, and he was like, I think you should keep going. And I was like, no, it takes way too much time. And he was like, no, like, you've put in your time with the kids. Like, I've been a stay-at-home mom since I was 19, and I'm 28 now. I'm going to be 29. So I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I can take some time off for myself. Like, I'm good. And he convinced me of it. He's like, if at any point in time it becomes an issue, then we'll talk about it. But for right now, like, it's fine. Like, keep going.
So it's more so like that you were wrestling with yourself in terms of kind of guilt.
That, and also it was guilt, and it was, I don't know if I could do it. I always.
But what is that it? That's kind of a curious thing for me. When you say it could do it, what is that? I mean, like, was it beating somebody up? Was it just, making the commute? I mean, what was it?
Well, the it's changed as I got further into it. Like, the it in the very beginning was, I don't think I can go and, like, talk to other people, which was very hard for me to do. I know I sound crazy, but, like, for so many years, I only talked to my kids. And then, like, adult conversation was very taboo for me, and I was just like, oh my God, like, do I even know how to talk to people still? I know it sounds dumb, but I was super anxious, and I was like, I don't know how to talk to people. Will I make friends? Are people going to like me? Am I even going to be good at this? And as I went further, it changed. So then once we started sparring, I was like, that was my it. Can I even do this? Can I do it? Like, am I just going to make a fool out of myself? Am I going to get beat up every single time? Or am I going to be good? Or, like, it was just, I'm just a very anxious person. So, like, I don't know. This has helped, though, for sure. Because every obstacle that I overcome, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like, I'm good. I got this.
When they start out, usually this basic level is that they're just holding pads for someone, right? There's not a lot of movement in there. Sometimes they're not holding their pads in the right way, meaning that they're kind of, if we're talking about boxing, they're holding their hands out very wide so that their partner has to punch kind of cross, almost like as as like an X to hit these pads, and they're really not moving around too much. And I like to equate the people in this category as kind of human punching bags. They see that people will hit the heavy bag, right? And they think, well, if I'm holding the pads, then I'm pretty much just a substitute for that heavy bag, okay? And whenever I see that, I pretty much get them out of that as soon as possible. I don't want them hanging out at that level, even if it's their first day. I don't want them hanging out at that level for very long at all. All right. So I keep a very close eye on that so that I can get them to at least the next level, which is what I call active. So whereas before there really wasn't any focus to what the pad holder is doing. So if you're the pad holder, you weren't really focused on anything other than just holding the pads up, and maybe you call out the technique, or maybe you call out the combo. Okay, give me a 1, 2, 3, or whatever it might be, and sometimes you might do the movement properly to hold the pads to correspond properly with the coming strikes. Most of the time you don't, right? But again, that's the situation. If you just don't have an experience with it, it's kind of natural, but you don't want to live there, right? You ultimately want to get as soon as possible to the next level, which is what I call active. So that is more of a focus on the partner that you are working with. So if you're the one that's holding the pads for me, then you are actually evaluating my technique, right? Just based on what you saw, not only from the instructor, but also from the kind of maybe more experienced, more advanced people in the room. What should I look like in throwing this technique or performing this, particular move? And then you can kind of coach me on that a bit. So the focus is on helping to make me better. Part of that in terms of pad holding is that you're actually holding the pads so that it's simulating what the exercise is calling for. So for example, if you're holding for a 1, 2, 3, so it's a jab, cross, hook, so 2 straight punches and then following up with a hook to the side of, in this case, side of the head, then you're holding the pads in a way that they're close together, pretty much simulating me hitting a head. Okay, so if I threw a punch and it penetrated through the target, which was this imaginary head, then it hits the pad that you're holding for me, right? So you're keeping it nice and tight. You're also encouraging me, making sure that if I'm tired, then hey, you're encouraged. Come on, man, you can do it. You can do it. Just keep going. A couple more, whatever it might be. You're evaluating that my technique is actually effective or not. Okay, how am I hitting the pad? Was it weak? Was it really definitive? That strike? Was my timing good? Would I have caught you off guard if that's the goal of the drill? And you can give me that feedback. Maybe it's such that I'm starting to drop my hands, especially as the round progresses. I'm getting tired from holding my hands up doing this drill. Maybe that's something where you just tell me, hey man, keep your hands up, or you give me a little tap with your mitts on my head. Hey, just letting you know that your hands are coming down, so you could be open for a strike, like I'm kind of patting you right now. Okay, so that's active. So your focus in that case is that you're looking to improve your partner. The third one, which is where I try to get everybody to as soon as possible. If it's such that it's this person's first day, then I start grooming them to that point where this is the goal, right? You are looking to get yourself to be a dynamic partner, a dynamic, in this case, pad holder. Okay, so in terms of pad holding, not only is it such that you're focused on me improving in terms of drilling that particular technique, but you are thinking about yourself, right? You're thinking about, oh wow, if I'm holding for Philip and he is doing this technique on me, how would I actually react? So if I'm getting this, jab, cross, hook coming my way, I mean, am I going to block? Am I going to slip? Am I going to, roll under? How would I do that? And and you start thinking of it more along the lines of just of sparring as opposed to holding pads for me. You're actually active in it as well. You're looking to improve your skills based on what I'm giving you. And when you do that, not only are you actively learning, but it takes my skill that I'm practicing to the next level, which is, oh my gosh, I'm not just throwing at pads here. I'm actually throwing at a person. This person's moving around. I'm going to have to adjust to that. I'm going to have to learn the footwork to follow this person around or to perform the technique on somebody that is actually looking to do something to me, or at least react in different ways to what I might be throwing. So this is where you inject yourself into this process. So you're not just a punching bag. You're not just looking to train me, but you're also looking to improve your own skills. And because your skills are looking to improve, now it's egging me on to be like, oh, well, if he reacted that way, then what do I do then? And then I start thinking, and it just keeps on going from there. Now, of course, you rein that in a little bit within the confines of the drill that the instructor is giving to you. I mean, there's a reason that they've told you to do that, but push it a little bit, right? If you've got yourself to a point where you both know the ones and twos of it, well, what's the next level for you? Okay, what is the way that you both can get more out of the confines of the drill that you are working?